Today we're diving into the most rigged moments in football history.
Football player has been arrested.
Escándalo de corrupción de la FIFA.
Arima's fans ran onto the pitch.
These events have left a lasting impact on the sport, sparking controversy and debate. Let's kick off with a dark chapter from 1964. The riot in Lima during the 1964 Olympic qualifier between Peru and Argentina is remembered as one of the darkest days in football history. The tension in the stadium was palpable as both teams fought fiercely for a spot in the Olympics. The Peruvian fans were ecstatic when their team seemed to have scored a late equalizer. However, the euphoria turned to disbelief and outrage when the Uruguayan referee, Angel Pazos, controversially disallowed the goal, citing a foul. The atmosphere in the stadium quickly deteriorated. Fans began to throw objects onto the pitch and police responded with tear gas, escalating the chaos. The situation spiraled out of control as panic spread among the 53,000 spectators. In the ensuing mayhem, gates were locked, preventing many from escaping the crush of the crowd. The tragedy claimed 328 lives, primarily due to asphyxiation and blunt force trauma, and left over 500 injured. In the aftermath, there were widespread accusations that the referee's decision was influenced by external pressures, possibly involving Argentine officials or corrupt elements seeking to manipulate the outcome. However, no concrete evidence was ever found to substantiate these claims. The tragedy prompted significant changes in stadium safety and crowd control measures worldwide, as the football community sought to prevent such a catastrophe from ever happening again. The 1993 Marseille vs Valenciennes scandals, also known as the Valenciennes affair, rocked French football and had far-reaching consequences for the involved parties. Olympique de Marseille, one of France's most prominent football clubs, was at the center of the controversy. The incident occurred during the last game of the 1992-1993 Ligue 1 season when Marseille played against Valenciennes on May 20th, 1993. Marseille, under Bernard Tapie's presidency, was on the brink of winning the Ligue 1 title and had a crucial UEFA Champions League final against AC Milan just days away. Marseille resorted to bribery to ensure that their key players remained uninjured and fully fit for the Champions League final. Valenciennes players Jorge Burruchaga, Christophe Robert and Jacques Glassman were approached with offers to underperform in the match. Jacques Glassman, however, refused to comply and reported the bribery attempt to the authorities. The investigation revealed that Marseille's general manager, Jean-Pierre Berns, was directly involved in the scheme. The scandal erupted just after Marseille secured a 1-0 victory over Valenciennes, which ensured they won the league title and stayed in peak condition for their European final. As the truth emerged, the repercussions were severe. The French Football Federation stripped Marseille of their 1992-1993 Ligue 1 title, and the club was relegated to the second division. Additionally, Marseille was banned from defending its Champions League title despite winning the 1993 final against AC Milan, marking it as the only European champions unable to defend their title due to disciplinary reasons. Bernard Tapie faced legal consequences, receiving a prison sentence and a lifetime ban from football. Jean-Pierre Berns was also banned from football-related activities for a considerable period. The implicated Valenciennes players faced suspensions and fines, although Jacques Glassman was later awarded the FIFA Fair Play Award for exposing the scandal. The Valenciennes affair remains one of the most notorious instances of match-fixing in football history. It highlighted the extent of corruption within the sport and led to significant changes in how football governance and integrity issues are addressed, reinforcing the importance of maintaining fair play in the beautiful game. The 2012 Serie A match between Juventus and Inter Milan, held on November 3, 2012, is often remembered for its controversial officiating decisions, which many believed favoured Juventus. The match, commonly called the Derby d'Italia, is one of the fiercest rivalries in Italian football, adding an extra layer of intensity and scrutiny to the proceedings. Juventus came into the match as the defending Serie A champions, having gone unbeaten in the previous season. Under new coach Andrea Stramaccioni, Inter Milan was looking to re-establish themselves as title contenders. The match was highly anticipated, with both teams in good form and looking to make a statement. Controversy erupted early in the game when Juventus took the lead in the first minute through Arturo Vidal. However, replay showed that Kwadwo Asamoah, who provided the assist was offside when he received the ball. Much to the dismay of Inter Milan players and fans, the goal stood. Throughout the match, several other contentious decisions by the refereeing team, led by Paolo Tagliavento, favor Juventus. Inter Milan's frustrations grew as they felt numerous fouls committed by Juventus players went unpunished, while their players were penalized for minor infractions. Despite the perceived bias, Inter Milan managed to turn the game around. Diego Milito scored twice, and Rodrigo Palacio added a third goal, leading Inter to a 3-1 victory. The win ended Juventus' 49-game unbeaten streak in Serie A and was celebrated passionately by Inter fans and players. The controversy did not end with the final whistle. Allegations of corruption and bias resurfaced, linking the match to the infamous Calciopoli scandal of 2006, which had previously implicated Juventus in a major match-fixing scandal. Although Juventus had been punished and stripped of titles for their involvement in Calciopoli, the memories of that scandal fueled suspicions about the integrity of the officiating in the 2012 match. Italian media and pundits debated the officiating decisions for weeks, with many calling for a review of the match and implementing more stringent measures to ensure fair play. However, no new evidence of corruption or match-fixing was found. The Italian Football Federation, FIGC, did not launch a formal investigation, and the match result was upheld. The match between Juventus and Inter Milan in 2012 remains a significant talking point in Italian football. It highlighted the lingering distrust and sensitivity around refereeing decisions involving Juventus, given their history with the Calciopoli scandal. The incident underscored the need for transparency and consistency in officiating to maintain the integrity of the sport. In response to ongoing controversies and the increasing demand for fairness, Serie A, like many other leagues, eventually adopted video assistant referee (VAR) technology to help referees make more accurate decisions and reduce the potential for human error and bias in critical moments. The controversy surrounding the Juventus vs Napoli match on October 4, 2020 became one of the most contentious issues in Serie A during the COVID-19 pandemic. The match was highly anticipated, with both teams performing well in the season's early stages. However, it was ultimately decided off the pitch due to unprecedented circumstances. In the days before the match, Napoli reported 2 positive COVID-19 cases among their players, Piotr Zielinski and Elif Elmas. Following the positive test, the local health authority, ASL in Naples, ordered the entire Napoli squad to quarantine, preventing them from travelling to Turin for the match against Juventus. Despite Napoli's appeal to postpone the match, Serie A officials insisted that it should go ahead as scheduled. They cited the league's COVID-19 protocol, which allowed matches to proceed as long as a team had at least 13 available players, including a goalkeeper. Juventus prepared to play and released a statement confirming their intent to take the field. Juventus arrived at the Allianz Stadium and took to the pitch on the day of the match, while Napoli remained in Naples under quarantine orders. With Napoli failing to appear, the match was formally abandoned. Serie A subsequently awarded Juventus a 3-0 victory by default and handed Napoli a 1-point deduction for failing to fulfill the fixture. Napoli immediately appealed the decision, arguing that they were forced to comply with the health authorities' quarantine orders and that the situation was beyond their control. They contended that the ruling was unfair and alleged favoritism towards Juventus, a club with significant influence and power within Italian football. The case was taken to the Italian Olympic Committee, CONI's, Sports Arbitration Panel, where Napoli's arguments were thoroughly examined. The panel considered the conflicting directives from the local health authorities and the league's protocols. After reviewing the evidence and circumstances, CONI overturned the initial decision on December 22, 2020. The panel ruled in favour of Napoli, annulling the 3-0 forfeit and the point deduction. The match was rescheduled for a later date. The ruling was seen as a victory for Napoli and a significant precedent in managing football fixtures during the pandemic. It highlighted the complexities of balancing public health directives with sporting regulations. The case underscored the challenges leagues worldwide face in ensuring fairness while navigating the disruptions caused by COVID-19. Juventus and Napoli eventually played the rescheduled match on April 7, 2021, with Juventus securing a 2-1 victory. The incident remains remains a noteworthy example of the pandemic's impact on football and the legal battles that can arise from the enforcement of health and safety protocols. The 2021 World Cup qualifier between Brazil and Argentina, held on September 5, 2021 in Sao Paulo, is remembered as one of the most bizarre and controversial incidents in recent football history. The match was abandoned just minutes after kickoff due to a dramatic intervention by Brazilian health officials, leading to accusations, confusion, and widespread debate. The controversy began before the match when Brazilian health authorities accused 4 Argentine players, Emiliano Martinez, Emiliano Buendia, Cristian Romero, and Giovanni Lo Celso, of breaching the country's COVID-19 quarantine rules. According to Brazilian regulations, travelers in the United Kingdom, South Africa, or India within the previous 14 days were required to quarantine upon arrival in Brazil. The 4 players in the English Premier League were alleged to have provided false information on their immigration forms to avoid quarantine. Despite these concerns, the match proceeded as scheduled, with both teams taking to the field at the Neoquímica Arena. However, just 5 minutes into the game, officials from Brazil's National Health Surveillance Agency, ANVISA, accompanied by police officers, entered the pitch to detain 4 Argentine players. The following chaotic scenes led to the match being halted as players, coaches, and officials from both teams engaged in heated discussions. The intervention by ANVISA officials was unprecedented and caused immediate uproar. The Argentine team, led by captain Lionel Messi, argued that they had been in Brazil for 3 days and had followed all necessary protocols. They contended that the timing of the intervention during the match itself was highly suspicious and appropriate. Messi famously remarked, "We've been here for 3 days. Why are they doing this just now?" Brazilian officials maintained that the players had violated quarantine rules and that ANVISA was merely enforcing public health regulations. The Brazilian Football Confederation, CBF, and FIFA were caught off guard by the incident, with both organizations expressing regret over the situation, but emphasizing the need to adhere to local health laws. The match was officially abandoned and both teams left the field. The incident sparked a diplomatic spat between the Brazilian and Argentine governments, with accusations flying back and forth. FIFA launched an investigation to determine the circumstances and to decide on the next steps for the qualification process. In February 2022, FIFA ruled that the match would be replayed later, although this decision faced criticism and further appeals from both football associations. Eventually, in August 2022, FIFA, the Brazilian Football Confederation, and the Argentine Football Association agreed to cancel the replay. Brazil and Argentina had both already secured their spots for the 2022 World Cup, rendering the replay unnecessary. The abandoned match between Brazil and Argentina remains a significant and controversial episode in the history of World Cup qualifiers. It highlighted the complexities and challenges of organizing international sporting events during a global pandemic, where health regulations and sporting interests often collided. The incident also underscored the importance of clear communication and coordination between football governing bodies and local health authorities to prevent such chaotic situations in future. The 1978 World Cup match between Argentina and Peru is one of the most controversial episodes in football history. Held on June 21st in Rosario, this match had enormous stakes. Argentina needed to win by at least 4 goals to surpass Brazil and secure a spot in the final. The final score, a staggering 6-0 in favor of Argentina, quickly became a hotbed for conspiracy theories and accusations of match fixing. In the political backdrop, Argentina was under the military dictatorship of General Jorge Videla. The regime viewed the World Cup as an opportunity to showcase national strength and unity amidst a period of severe political repression and human rights abuses. Thus, the pressure on the national team to succeed was immense. Argentina's performance against Peru, a team that had been competitive throughout the tournament, raised immediate suspicions due to the unlikely and overwhelming victory margin. Rumors soon began circulating that the Argentine government had exerted undue influence to ensure the desired result. Allegations ranged from bribery to coercion, with several Peruvian players later coming forward with claims that they were approached with offers of money and faced intimidation intimidation. Jose Velasquez and Juan Carlos Oblitas, notable members of the Peruvian squad, alleged that they had been offered substantial sums to lose the match. Additionally, there were suggestions that a significant shipment of grain was sent from Argentina to Peru around the same time, hinting at a quid pro quo arrangement. Adding fuel to the fire, some Argentine players, including Leopoldo Luque, expressed doubts about the legitimacy of the victory years after the event. Luque suggested that while they might not have been aware of any arrangements at the time, in hindsight many believed that the result was manipulated. Ricardo Villa, another member of the Argentine team, echoed similar sentiments, feeling that they might have been used as pawns in a political game. Despite these serious allegations, FIFA did not conduct a formal investigation into the match. The victory allowed Argentina to advance to the final, where they defeated the Netherlands 3-1 in extra time to win their first World Cup. While the win was celebrated nationwide, the shadow of the controversial match against Peru has never fully dissipated. In the decades since, journalists and historians have debated and investigated the events surrounding the match. However, the lack of concrete evidence and the absence of an official inquiry means the full truth remains elusive. The 1978 Argentina vs Peru match serves as a potent reminder of the potential for political interference in sports and the lingering impact such controversies can have on the legacy of major sporting events. The 2010 Togo fake national team incident stands out as one of the most bizarre episodes in international football. The strange saga unfolded on September 7, 2010, when Bahrain hosted a team that was purportedly the national team of Togo for an international friendly match. Bahrain triumphed with an easy 3-0 victory, but the match result was soon overshadowed by revelations that the team fielded by Togo was not the legitimate national squad. The confusion began when Bahrain's Football Association noticed several irregularities during the match. The Togo team's performance was subpar, and the players' skills did not match the standard expected of an international team. This prompted Bahrain to conduct further inquiries into the visiting team's credentials. The scandal broke wide open when the Togolese Football Federation, FTF, declared that they had no knowledge of the match and had not sent an official team to Bahrain. The FTF quickly distanced itself from the event, stating that the players on the field were imposters. The investigation revealed that the entire squad was assembled by a disgruntled former coach of the Togo national team, Chanale Bana. Bana had organized the trip without official authorization, recruiting amateur and lower division players to pose as the national team. Further investigation exposed that Bana had been paid approximately $60,000 by an international syndicate to arrange the fake match. The syndicate's motives were unclear, but it was speculated that they aimed to exploit the match for betting purposes or other financial gains. The incident was a major embarrassment for the Togolese and Bahraini football authorities, leading to widespread media coverage and condemnation. The fallout from the incident was swift. The Togolese Football Federation banned Chanale Bana for 3 years and imposed additional sanctions for his role in the deception. The scandal also prompted FIFA to tighten its regulations concerning international friendlies to prevent similar occurrences in the future. Football associations were urged to verify the legitimacy of teams and matches more rigorously, ensuring that all parties involved were properly authorized and authenticated. The Togo fake national team debacle remains a cautionary tale in football. It highlighted vulnerabilities in the organization and verification processes for international matches, leading to reforms aimed at safeguarding the integrity of the sport. While the incident was a source of embarrassment and ridicule, it also improved transparency and accountability in football administration. So there you have it, the most rigged moments in football history. These events have left a mark on the beautiful game, from suspicious refereeing decisions to outright match-fixing scandals. Which do you think was the most shocking? Did we miss any? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to never miss a live football video.